Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Chakra series Soul Care Message. I am Koi. I love to connect with creative souls, coaches, artists, and just beautiful beings that would love to tap in and understand their own energy. Um, this chakra series is really to help you understand how to utilize your own energy and how to align with your goals, your desires, and your creative source. For those that don't know, I create soul care tools that help you tap into the rituals of connecting and growing on your soul growth and soul discovery. And these are one of my tools, my Chakra Affirmation Card decks. And for those that do know me, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for being a part of this chakra series. And we are here to discuss the solar plexus card. All right. So I'm just going to get right into it. But actually, before I do, please check out the links below because I'm going deeper into these chakras, how to create and manifest through your chakras within my learning portal, or AKA Array of Gratitude portal. AOG portal. All right. So you can check that out. I have different frequency levels, and most people start off on the soul frequency that helps you understand your energy and your soul discovery. But then you can also tap into the nurture frequency as well as the gratitude frequency. All right. So, with that being said, let's get into the solar plexus. So, pause for the cause if you want to check out the solar plexus. So you can find more ways to balance your solar plexus through the blog post that I have created, which is below. But when we talk about the solar plexus, we're talking about the right to act, right? And it's also the right to act from the soul, i.e., solar plexus, right? Solar also reminds you of what? The sun, right? And the sun gives that vital energy, helps you with your vitality, right? Gives you that willpower to actually move, right? For those that understand the will of God, it moves you in the direction that is needed for you to go along your soul path. But how do we do that if we're not connecting with our soul? How do we do that, right? So the solar plexus is that physical connection that we have through energy, right? In our center space that is pretty much around the organs of our stomach, right below the heart chakra. And when it's overactive, um, we can be pushy, right? We can feel like really impulsive, sometimes really connected to anger, a lot of times as well, really controlling, right? Trying to control not only people, but other yourself, your whole life situation. And we, like, we have a sense of control over our physical body, right? And the things that happen with inside of our body, with inside of ourselves. But the things that are actually happening outside of ourselves, we really don't have control over. And a lot of times we forget that, right? And this is where I'm getting to the solar plexus, right? Where we are actually feeling into our emotional body, right? Feeling out our thoughts, right? Understanding, having that self awareness of our thoughts and finding that alignment to understand that we are spiritual beings in a body. And when you have that balance, right, you're not that much in control. Like, you are in the seat of your personal power because you understand your power. You understand yourself, right? You understand the mechanisms, the mechanics of how you move and how you operate, right, on a soul level. And when it's low, when it's underactive, right, we have a lack of energy. We're very indecisive. Our insecurities are screaming at us, right? Because a lot of our ego is built up around this mentality of who we're supposed to be from what we were told to be or shown to be, right? Programmed. And or we're very needy because we feel that we need so much help and so much attention to get things done. We don't feel confident in ourselves, right? So I'm going to like just tap into my card deck here for the solar plexus. Let's see what comes up. Let's do this soul message to help you get going and help you understand. I want this one. Help you understand on a deeper level the solar plexus energy. All right. Oops. Okay. So what do we have? All right. Oh, this is lovely. So this is a light activation here, which says, I am free of all limiting beliefs and open to discovering new things about myself. Okay. So this right here is speaking on pretty much kind of like what I'm saying. Like, you really are starting to understand yourself, and not only the positive things about yourself, but also the negative things about yourself, also the shadows about yourself, also the ego about yourself, right? That wounded inner child that didn't get to speak up, that was always told to get out the way, or was told that they were not pretty enough, or they didn't mean anything, right? You know, all that gets stored in the back of our mind, in the subconscious, and we become unconscious of how we are being triggered, right? Emotionally moved through sounds, words, visuals, right? And we tell ourselves things in the sense of self-harm almost, right? Like, I'm not lovable, right? And looking at the shadow recognition is, I have to hold on to the past because this is what made me. And when I see this, it always reminds me of, I don't know if anybody's into hip hop, right? But if you know Fabulous, you know that song, This Is What You Made Me, right? And he was talking about how, like, you know, he came from the New York streets into this self-made rapper. And I don't know. I just remember like the video kind of was like this girl that told him he ain't nothing, right? And then when she saw him as this self-made entrepreneur, right, it's like, oh, grabbing attention. But it's like, nah, this is who you made me. And I remember having this conversation with somebody, because at first it's kind of like, yeah, they did make me act this way. They did make me into this person who I am. Somewhat so, right? Don't give them all the credit. But at the same time, they did play a part that was the catalyst, right, to you actually going to get that job because somebody told you you'll never be nothing, right? Or they may be the catalyst that actually made you feel like crap and was depressed for 5 years, right? You know what I mean? But I do feel that you need to take credit of your emotions and your actions, and be responsible for changing that. So in a way, it's kind of like two sides of the coin when I see this shadow aspect, because it's like, yeah, people made you who you are. In a sense that, you know, they were that moving force, or that whisper or loud voice in your head, but you made yourself. You made these decisions, you made these choices, and you took action, whether it was a good action or not. And you need to be accountable, right? And you need to also be what's the word, responsible for your actions, because with every action there is a reaction, right? We have consequences, and we can't blame anybody, right? And me speaking about this story is all the solar plexus energy, whether it's low frequency or high frequency or balanced, right? So can you still see this? Yeah, we're going to get into this, because something I feel like the past higher chakras, I was like talking a lot on this. I really want to actually tap into deeper of the message. Okay, so let me just, so let's see, what do we have here? Okay, so we have wisdom, which taps into the heart chakra, as you see the green. And then we have the spirit of the bear. Yo, okay. I'm saying yo because let's bring this down a tad bit. Okay? There we go. The bear energy is about power. It's about intuition, but it's also about instincts as well. And it's a really good balance of that, because when you think of intuition, right? Intuition, the higher chakras, it's really more divinely connected with higher self. It's divinely connected with source energy, the universe, and things that are out of your control, right? But when you think of instincts, you think of this biological trigger that you have that almost, I'm not quite sure. It's definitely connected to fear in a way too. When like fear at its short instinct, right, of the emotion that just sparks in your body tells you to move. It tells you, hey, something ain't right, we gotta go. And that's your instincts as well, right? And when you feel guided, when you have that gut instinct that says, something's not right, you do need to listen to that, right? And your intuition may not always tell you something's not right. Your intuition may also tell you this is what's right for you. This is what's best for you. And it's totally separate from the ego. And a lot of times people think that your ego is really about like the egotistical people that are like conceited and cocky, overly into themselves, not selfish, right? But self-centered, constantly thinking about themselves to the point where it's like, F everybody else. This is me. This is who I am. And I'm a 30-year-old, blah, blah, blah. Or I've been doing this for 50 some years, right? But your ego also is connected to the shadows, the things that are trying to control, are trying to prove that you are right, right? That is very ego. It's very, your ego is very connected to your logical sense as well, because, when you're trying to make a decision, the ego tends to have a bad rep with things. And it's like your ego may be also telling you that you're not good enough for something, right? Like this is what I'm talking about when you're talking about shadow work. You're talking about the things that are like, well, I'm kind of afraid of my own power. I'm afraid of being successful because XYZ is happening. Your ego tells you these stories from the outside view of what you learned and experienced in the world, but you're still a spiritual soul divine being that also has divine gifts and experiences as well. It also has a frequency, and when you understand who you are on that soul level, that's the intuition. That's the intuitive sense that connects you to your spirit team and your guides and your ancestors and the unseen world that is not tangible, that is not visible of your own two eyes, okay? So when I'm talking about wisdom here, right? The wisdom is a lesson learned that's already deeply ingrained into your cells, into your body, and your experience, sense of self, right? Because what I'm trying to say too is like a lot of times we have this looping experiences, right? And you keep saying, why does this keep happening to me? And then you start telling yourself all these things of how you're just not good enough and blah, 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 right? Nobody can escape that. That passes through your mind at least one time, right? Especially when you're trying something new, right? And this is where confidence comes into play when you understand the wisdom, learn from the lesson. I want to put this like this now. When you understand the lesson, the wisdom of the experience that you learned, right? But it's also about the divine wisdom that you're getting too, that is connected to your soul and again, your higher self. Your higher self supersedes all of this stuff. It views all this stuff from a bird's eye view and already knows what's going to happen. Okay? it's higher than you. Like, think of it as a higher rank. And yeah, let's just tap into the wisdom card real quick, okay? Because y'all know, if you don't know, there's little stories that go with this, and I love it. So be it connected to the heart chakra, right? Wisdom is knowing the difference between a calculated risk and stupidity. I'm not so sure if I like what that says, but I kind of understand. Um, let's see. So this talks about the sage bush that acts as the grandfather, right? How to grow old with wisdom. And the elders answer, we must learn from our mistakes. Before you worry about something, ask yourself if it will be important in the future. Enjoy the present form as well as we all change with time. It's kind of like listening to your heart more so. This is funny because I'm not really feeling how they're talking about wisdom, but they are talking about tranquility, support, and maturity. And through time, which is true, I mean, on earth, we do have this time, right? But I'm speaking in the soul aspect where there is no time, right? But it is talking about like listening to what the elders say because they already experienced it. Listen to your older self, your, mature self, your higher self. And knowing that it's already experienced, knowing that you feel these wisdom, you feel the wisdom through the heart because you understand and feel the sense of what you've already experienced, right? But it's tricky because if your heart hasn't quite learned the lesson, or if your heart hasn't quite, I don't want to say learn the lesson because that's more of a mindset thing, right? But your heart feels, and your heart may be feeling low because it's holding on from the experience that it hasn't quite processed yet, and it hasn't quite released, right? And this is where, like we spoke in the previous with the heart space, how we create these blocks and how we are magnetizing um, to the frequency of what you're feeling. And when you're not aware of what frequency you're in through those thoughts, then the heart is just going to magnetize that and say, oh, well, this is the frequency you're at, so let's just bring it through. And you're like, hell no, what is this craziness, right? But you haven't been quite self-aware yet. And through the solar plexus is knowing that you are divinely connected, okay? And knowing that you do have this inner wisdom, this inner GPS that will not steer you wrong. The only reason why you may feel that you're in the wrong space is because you were vibing at a certain frequency. Know how to turn the damn frequency up, right? This is why I love talking about chakras, because it's a frequency, it's an energy, and we do all have the ability to shift into different frequencies. And through this, you will this energy, you conjure this energy up, you speak this energy, right? You feel this energy by feeling yourself, okay? And this book just says, too, that there's an ability here to bring serenity to any situation. And indeed, it may be needed. So it's really that discernment. That is the word that I'm thinking of, too. Discernment is having that aligned mind and heart to sense, right? Feel and assess what is needed in the moment and what is felt through what is best for you. So let's touch base on this spirit bear, because I really want to get into this real quick so I can share this with you before we leave, because the spirit of the bear is something that has been popping in my awareness lately. But I do think that it's great to resonate with the solar plexus. So I don't know if you can see this. Again, you can pause for the cause, but I will read this, right? Retreat, solo effort, strength, and vulnerability. I like this, strength and vulnerability. So it's kind of long, but I'm going to get into this, all right? The spirit of the bear mandala brings courage, strength to those in need. It strengthens the mind and the body with the sheer power that only bear medicine can offer. However, bear also hibernates in the cold seasons, reminding you to lay low and settle when needed. Bear plays a significant symbolic part of everyone's life with the key elements of its nature shining through all. Spirit of Bear is a guardian of the great earthly plane and a keeper of many doorways linking to earth with the higher planes. So I'm going to leave that right there. Actually, let's just read this last sentence. Bear touches every soul on incarnation and throughout their lifetime. So basically, it's really talking about that, like, there's like the bear paw. Like, if you've ever seen a bear in real life, you're already gonna know, like, whoa, right? I'm glad I never saw a bear in real life, but like, they do have this power. They can run. If I'm not mistaken, they can run 15 to 20 miles an hour. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me, but they can run pretty fast for a big animal. You know what I'm saying? They got claws, this and that. But when you think on a spiritual level, right? It has this discerning energy. It has this energy that is connected to the earth, that has this clock sense of time, which they were talking about wisdom, right? To know when to get rest, to know when to hibernate, to your, like, their body actually is like, sorry, y'all, my camera just like went out on me. But what I was saying was, you're free of limiting beliefs, right? And these limiting beliefs, right, will block you and make you think that you don't deserve, or make you think that you don't have the ability to do. And as that saying, as old as time goes, where there is a will, there is a way. Okay, so that's my message for the solar plexus. Thank you again for those that have been coming on board with this chakra series. It's been a long time coming, but I needed to recharge my energy enough and align things enough to bring this into my reality. So you can read more on ways to balance your solar plexus by checking out that link below. And if you're looking for a place to be amongst like-minded people and learn more things, I'm constantly putting new content in that, because I feel that I get drowned out in the world of social media, and I'm learning a new way to contain my energy as well as share what is needed and what I like to do. So this is my playground as well as my learning space and library for you all to learn and help you see the services I have, as well as connect with me more. Okay? So peace and love. Next time you will be joining me in the sacral chakra. And until then, I'm outie. Peace.